You acted like he had no idea about my night with his boss. 1 week later, he took brutal payback. Reddit. I used to be a huge fan of this app years ago, but it's been a while since I've actually been on here. I made a huge mistake yesterday, and I've been feeling guilty about it ever since. I messed around with I don't know how to tell my husband about what happened with his boss. I'm not sure if I should tell him at all. I'm a little scared, to be honest. I feel like my husband might never forgive me. It was just a mistake. If I could go back in time, I would. I would never betray my husband. Here's a little bit of backstory. My name is Olivia, and my husband is Nathan. We met in high school and hit it off right away. We had a great connection and really clicked. We started dating in high school and continued through college, even graduating together. We only got married a few months later. We got married a few months ago, but it wasn't because we were in a rush. We'd been saving for our wedding and wanted it to be a great day. I'm 27, and my husband Nathan is 26. We both work, but Nathan earns way more than I do. That means we adjust the bills, payments, and chores to fit. I cover 30% of the bills, and Nathan covers 70%. That also means I cover about 60% of the chores, while Nathan covers the remaining 40%. It's an arrangement that has worked for us for a long time, as we've been living together for years. Apart from that, things were really great between us. Intimacy was another issue. Nathan was really busy at work and tried his best, but the pressure of saving for a house and his heavy workload took its toll. It felt like he was carrying the weight of our future on his shoulders. My weight was another factor. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I knew I was overweight. I had gone through a really rough patch after my dad died. We had been very close, and the loss hit me hard. I started spiraling, lost my job, and turned to food as my escape. Thankfully, Nathan stayed by my side despite it all, and he never complained. He even helped me get into therapy. He stuck by me through thick and thin. I'm still overweight, but I'm trying my best to help myself. Nathan had been covering all the bills and house chores, so as soon as I got a job I started contributing. I've lost 30% of my body weight, and I feel like our intimacy has dwindled a lot since then. I think he no longer finds me attractive because of my weight gain. It's easy to gain weight, but losing weight is hard work. Whenever I try to engage him in intimacy, he is either too tired or not in the mood. It's not just about physical attraction. It's about feeling desirable and wanted. I miss that connection we used to have where we could just be ourselves and enjoy each other's company without these barriers. Nathan's busyness also became a source of resentment for me. It felt like he was always occupied with work or some project. And that left little time for us to connect intimately. I started to feel neglected and unimportant, like I was second to everything else in his life. Adding to my frustration was the fact that Nathan remained in great shape while I struggled with my weight. He hadn't let himself go like me. He knew how to control his diet. I resented the way he controlled his portions and stuck to a healthy diet. It was a constant reminder of my own struggles and failures in managing my weight. Nathan would often try to compliment me, telling me how beautiful I was and how much he loved me just the way I was. I appreciated it, but it didn't help. His words didn't really resonate with me because I didn't feel beautiful in my own skin. I struggled to accept my body and how it had changed over the years. I even decided to join the gym because I hoped it would help me shed some weight and boost my confidence. However, gym wasn't as easy to deal with as people made him out to be. It was a constant battle with myself. I had to force myself to push through workouts and try to stay motivated. Despite all these months of effort, the scale barely budged and I felt really discouraged. I knew it wasn't just the gym's fault, it was also my own struggle with controlling what I ate. I tried to be mindful of my portions and make healthier choices, but it was challenging. Food had been my comfort during tough times, and breaking those habits was a real struggle. The combination of Nathan's busyness, his fit physique, and my own weight issues created this huge drift between us. I felt like I couldn't measure up to his standards, and it weighed heavily on our relationship. Nathan noticed how much I hated my body, especially when it came to controlling what I ate when we ate together. He gently nudged me to take smaller portions, saying my body would adapt over time. It was kind of him, but I resented it. I knew deep down that Nathan Nathan was only trying to help me and support me in achieving my goals, but I couldn't help but resent him for it. It felt like he was policing my food intake, and it made me feel inadequate and frustrated. I wanted to be able to make these choices for myself without someone constantly monitoring what I ate. I knew he was only trying to help, but it still felt like he was controlling my meals. I would challenge his suggestions, insisting that I knew what was best for me. This only made things worse between us, even though I knew he meant well. Things continued in this strained manner for a while when Nathan suggested a date night or watching a movie together. But I often dismissed the idea. I couldn't shake the feeling that he was only doing it out of courtesy, not genuine desire. Even when he invited me to join him at the gym, I would get defensive and angry. It felt like he was indirectly calling me out. I was really hurt during a rough patch and started to think that Nathan might be cheating, even though there was no evidence. I even got a friend to spy on him at work but found nothing. I think my anxiety was making me see things that weren't there. I started to doubt everything I knew about Nathan. I thought he wasn't the cheating type, but my mind was playing tricks on me. Nathan said there would be a work party or dinner. I said no because I wasn't feeling up to it. Nathan just went along with it, which made me mad. It was like he was okay with it. I wasn't going because I thought I'd make him look bad. Maybe he thought I was too fat and that I'd embarrass him there. So, I changed my mind and said I'd go. Nathan didn't argue, which surprised me. On the day of the party, I put on my outfit, and Nathan did too. We went, and I had a blast. I half expected. I was worried about getting judgmental looks or snide comments about my weight, but everyone was really nice to me. It was a nice change. I enjoyed the food and drinks as the night went on. Nathan went to chat with his friends for a bit before we left. That's when his boss came over. I knew of Nathan's boss, but I hadn't met him yet. I didn't interact with him much, but he was friendly and his charm drew me in. He suggested we dance, and though I hesitated, I agreed. I thought the dancing was harmless, but I noticed Nathan turned to glance at us briefly, and he frowned like he wasn't glad I was dancing with his boss. I brushed it off as nothing as we danced. His boss's compliments gave me a boost of confidence. He was funny and charming, and he made me forget my insecurities for a while. When the dance ended, he surprised me by giving me his personal card and telling me to text him. I didn't expect it, but I took it because I felt flattered. As we left the party, I figured I'd mention it to Nathan casually, just to be transparent. When Nathan joined me after saying his goodbyes, I asked him about his reaction to seeing me dance with his boss. He brushed it off and said his boss was an odd and flirtatious person, nothing more. When we got home, I found myself holding on to the card instead of discarding it as I'd planned. I didn't even tell Nathan, like I'd initially planned to. The idea of contacting Nathan's boss was on my mind, and despite telling myself I would throw it away, curiosity got the better of me. I thought about it for hours. Once Nathan and I had gone to bed, I couldn't resist the urge to send a quick message to his boss. I waited for a few minutes but didn't get a reply, so I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up to a text from Nathan's boss. It was a simple message, but it sparked a flurry of text between us. It made me feel wanted in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. His compliments about my appearance, including my weight, really resonated with my insecurities. Before I knew it, I was up to him about my struggles and doubts, and he always responded with understanding and reassurance. We started talking even more, and we were even flirting with each other. Nathan noticed that I was spending more time on my phone than usual and asked me about it. I brushed him off and said I was busy because I'd just recently started creating content. Surprisingly, Nathan accepted my excuse without much further questioning. Although it was obvious he was very curious about it, Nathan's boss seemed to understand me in a way Nathan hadn't in a long time. I loved his attention and validation after a few days of our crazy flirting and chatting. Justin, as I'll call Nathan's boss to protect his privacy, suggested meeting up for coffee. I instantly agreed. I agreed without a second thought. It had been ages since I'd had a proper outing, and while I still kept in touch with friends, I distanced myself from social gatherings. Especially after my weight gain. I often rejected invitations to go out, even when they included both Nathan and me. I felt very self-conscious. I was conscious of my appearance and a bit ashamed, But our coffee date was very pleasant, and I enjoyed it a lot. Justin was charming and easy to talk to. After we finished our drinks, he casually suggested we head back to his apartment. Initially, I was hesitant, but I convinced myself that it was harmless. I reasoned that we would just watch a movie or two and I would maintain a clear boundary. Obviously, that's not what happened. I ended up watching Crossing Lines. I never thought I would, but we headed back to his apartment. I noticed that it was a bit dirty, but otherwise comfortable. He told me that he hadn't had time to clean and that he wasn't married yet, so it was just him. We chatted for a while and started watching a movie, but before I knew it, one thing led to another and we were now sitting very close to each other. His hand started creeping up my thighs, and I couldn't control myself. Wes started making out, and then we moved to his bedroom, where we then proceeded to have sex repeatedly. After we hooked up, I felt like a complete idiot. Justin's attitude changed instantly. He was all friendly and charming. It was as if a switch had just flipped in Justin's head. He suddenly told me I needed to get up and leave because his roommate would arrive soon. I was surprised because he had initially told me that. I was surprised to hear that Justin lived alone and didn't have a girlfriend or roommate. I asked him about it and he said he must have made a mistake. I quickly got dressed and left. Justin didn't even walk me out, he just rushed me to leave. I had to call an Uber because my car was still at home with some issues. On the Uber ride, I couldn't stop thinking about how dumb I was to get myself into that situation. I was really annoyed at myself for getting myself into that situation. Nathan still wasn't back, which was a relief. I took a quick shower, changed into something comfortable, and made myself something to eat. I just couldn't shake off the feeling of regret and guilt that was weighing me down. I decided to shoot Justin a text, telling him off for how he treated me. I said he shouldn't have rushed me out and been so rude. I waited for a reply, but by the time Nathan got back, I'd been through a lot of different thoughts and feelings. I realized that I wanted to save my marriage and fix the mess I'd made. I knew that telling Nathan might ruin everything, but I also couldn't bear the weight of this secret eating away at me. I took a step forward by cooking dinner for us. I really hoped to bridge the gap I'd created. I apologized sincerely and I was surprised and relieved that Nathan appreciated my effort and accepted my apology. That happened yesterday. I'm currently on my lunch break and writing this because I haven't really been able to concentrate. I don't know what to do. I feel like if I do not tell Nathan, guilt will continue to eat at me, but I also cannot tell him because I do not want him to dump me. As for Justin, he has blocked me. He didn't reply to my text last night, and when I checked, I noticed this morning that he'd blocked me, so that's one thing I'd really appreciate advice on. How should I go about fixing this? My post on Reddit has had way more engagement than I expected. It's been 2 days since I posted and the response has been overwhelming. I've tried to read through all the comments, both positive and negative. I've also received a flood of DMs, some supportive and others not so much. I want to address the negative comments first. I understand that some people think I'm delusional or stupid for sharing my story after cheating on my husband. I just needed a place to rant and clear my head, which is why I posted. Some people also said this had to be rage bait because I sounded so delusional. Let me be clear, this is my reality right now, and I'm not here to provoke or incite rage. I appreciate the constructive criticism and the kind words equally. The majority of comments say I should tell my husband what happened. I understand where that advice is coming from, but after much reflection and even consulting my elder sister, I've decided against it. My sister suggested that it might be best to move forward without divulging this to my husband, especially since Justin has cut off all contact with me by blocking me. I've taken her advice to heart, and I'm going to focus my energy on rebuilding my marriage and moving forward. Thanks for your time and insights. I may not update again unless something significant occurs. For now, I'll be putting my efforts into repairing the damage I've caused in my marriage and looking towards a better future for me and my husband. Take care, everyone. Update: I wanted to share a little update on what's been happening since my last post. I've been putting a lot of effort. I've been focusing on rebuilding my relationship with my husband. One of the things I've been doing is creating more quality time together. I've been trying to get him to go out on date nights with me, and thankfully he's been receptive to the idea. We've had some really nice moments reconnecting and enjoying each other's company. Another area I've been working on is taking charge of household responsibilities. I've completely taken over the chores, and honestly, I don't even want my husband to help out anymore. It's my way of showing him that I'm committed to making things right and easing some of the burdens he's been carrying on a personal level. I've been going to the gym more regularly. It's been a really tough journey, and I still struggle with controlling my portions and maintaining consistency, but I'm determined to achieve my fitness goals. I dream of having a body that I feel confident and comfortable in. I've been taking steps every day to get there. I want to address something that's been bothering me. I've been receiving some really hurtful messages from people calling me names and making derogatory comments about my weight. Some people have been calling me fat cow, and that fat people are the worst kind of people. I want to say this: your words are cruel and unnecessary. Fat shaming has no place here or anywhere else. We're all on our own journeys, and we should always be kind and understanding. If you can't offer that, please keep your negativity to yourself. I appreciate the support and encouragement from those who have been kind and understanding throughout this process. It means a lot to me. Update: many of you have asked to hear more about my journey, so here I am. Some of you said my marriage was on the rocks, but I'm happy to say it's as solid as a rock. It's been about 5 days since everything went down, like the whole cheating and stuff, so there haven't really been any significant developments. My husband and I have been having conversations about starting a family and the possibility of me becoming a stay-at-home mom. At the moment, I'm not sure. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, which is something we've both been considering for a while. It feels like the right time to take that step. As for my job, well, let's just say my boss hasn't always been the most supportive or understanding person. I've decided to leave and will be giving my notice soon. I'll probably give just a week's notice, since my boss doesn't really deserve a formal. I've realized that this is a job I've come to hate, and I'm looking forward to leaving it behind. Everything seems to be moving too quickly, but it just feels right. Once I'm home, I plan to start focusing on trying for a baby, and then preparing for the arrival of our baby. I'll be there for them as they grow up. Nathan, my husband, also recently got a promotion, which means he'll be in a better position to provide for us financially, which gives me peace of mind knowing that I can devote myself fully to our family without worrying about financial problems. That's where things stand at the moment. I'll keep you all updated if anything major happens. Update: I'm here with an update that I never thought I would have to share. You were all right. My marriage, which I thought was on the mend, turned out to be a ticking time bomb, and it finally exploded. You were all right. My husband knew all this time and he kept me in the dark. He even made me quit my job. I feel so distraught right now. I don't even know what to say. It all happened yesterday. Or, I should say earlier yesterday, I'm sorry to have to tell you that my husband has been unfaithful. My husband's parents invited us over for dinner. It was a seemingly innocent family gathering. We went there and everything seemed fine at first. We were chatting and catching up because my husband's parents didn't live very close to us, so we didn't see them regularly except on family functions or events. My husband was calm. My husband, in the calmest tone, mentioned that I had cheated on him with his boss. It was like a punch in the gut. I froze. Everyone froze. It was shocking. Of course, that wasn't just something you blurted out. The way my husband had calmly said it, as if he was just telling his mom about the weather. My husband's father then asked him what he meant, and that's when my husband turned to me and told them to ask me. He said I was stupid if I thought I could cheat on him with his boss and get away with it. I tried to deny it at first, asking where he didn't beat around the bush. He told me that his boss was promiscuous and not the kind of person to hide his affair. He said the boss had basically announced it to everyone in the office that he had slept with me, and that it was embarrassing having his CO workers think that he'd slept with me. The workers came to tell him what the boss had said. He said that at first he didn't want to believe the boss. That night, after I had gone to bed, he checked my phone and found lots of messages from the boss. They were clearly planning to meet up and even flirting with him and messaging him after I had gone to bed. He said he'd slept with me. He called me stupid and said I was even more stupid if I thought I could get away with it. I was so shocked and overwhelmed that I started crying. I didn't know what to do. He didn't yell or scream. He just told me that we were getting He told me he was getting a divorce and that he'd been waiting for a while until he was in a better place mentally. He apologized to his parents and left. Mind you, we came in the same car, so that meant I was stranded without a ride. I was so embarrassed I hurried after him, but he just left me and drove off. I was too ashamed to ask anybody for a ride home, so I had to call an Uber. I was too embarrassed to ask anyone for a lift home, so I had to call an Uber. I felt so humiliated, ashamed, and lost. However, when I called the Uber and got home, our apartment was empty, apart from my clothes. He had moved out while we were at his parents' house. But how had he been able to move out when I was at his parents' house with him when I had a breakdown? I sank to the floor and cried uncontrollably. I've been trying to reach him, but he's not responding. He's not taking my calls or texts. His friends are avoiding me too. They're also not responding to my calls or texts. I'm left here. I'm trying to make sense of everything. But I'm not sure what to do or where to go from here. I had to spread some of my clothes and sleep on the bare floor because I was just too tired to even move or leave the house. I never thought my life would unravel like this, but here I am facing the consequences of my actions. This fallout from my marriage feel like a wrecked battlefield with no clear path forward. I guess you can all gloat and laugh now. Bring out the drums rolls. I can already hear the "I told you so" comments coming. I'm just wondering where to even start picking up the pieces. But I do see it seriously. I could really use some advice. What do I do? Where do I go from here? Is there any way to salvage my marriage? How did he manage to make such a clean break while we were all together at his parents' house? It doesn't add up. And I'm sure his friends must have played a role in helping him pull off this well. I'm sure he's been planning this for a while. If there's no way to salvage my marriage and we end up in court, what am I going to get out of the marriage? We were saving up to buy a house, but we hadn't bought it yet because I was a bit slow on savings. Obviously, he earns way more than I do. The lease is in my name because I rented it first, and then he moved in with me. We didn't even bother getting his name on it. We added it on the lease because we thought there was no need, but everything in the apartment belongs to him. That's why he took it when he moved in. We lived together for years before we decided to throw away or give away much of our old stuff and replace it all with new stuff after my dad died. Nathan felt like it would be nice because cleaning and getting new stuff always made someone feel better. Like the TV and refrigerator. We replaced the bed and all those other items, and he paid for them all because I didn't even have a job at the time. As I said before, I was really struggling financially. So everything that he took belongs to him. He even took my car, which is in his name. He has been the one making payments on it, but still, he took it. How did he take it? We have 2 cars, so someone must have helped him drive the other one. That's all I wanted to share. I'm going to grab something to eat because I'm hungry. I don't care about my weight right now. I'll probably come back here later to share an update. If you have any helpful advice or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And please, if you're going to comment something negative or come into my DMs, I'd appreciate it if you didn't. If you want to taunt me and laugh at my misfortune, then please don't. I might come back here to update you on what happens next. As I said before, if anyone has any constructive advice or helpful insights, please share them. But if it's just going to be negativity or mockery, I'd rather not engage with that right now. Update, Reddit, it's been 2 days, and while not much has changed, there have been some developments I want to share with you. I'd like to start by thanking everyone who gave me solid advice, especially about seeking therapy. I'm definitely going to do that once things settle down. As for my job, well, let's just say I didn't leave on the best of terms. I pretty much gave my boss an indirect piece of my mind, so I doubt there's any chance of salvaging that job. Once I'm in a better place mentally, I'll start looking for a new one. They suggested that I let go of the marriage and go for a divorce, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I tried to work things out, but Nathan wasn't interested. He's fixated on the fact that I cheated and lied, conveniently forgetting his own scheming during that week. He made sure to leave in the absolute worst way because he wanted me to feel horrible. Who's the bigger jerk here? Nathan finally reached out, but there wasn't much to say. He said that everything he took from the apartment was rightfully his because he bought it. I can't argue with that. but I did express my disappointment that he didn't give me a heads up before I quit my job. I tried to bait him into admitting he planned it all because I was hoping it could serve as evidence in court, but he's playing it smart and denying everything in texts. He's hinted that I'll be served soon, probably divorce papers. The laws are silent on this one. It's pretty obvious who's in the wrong. I haven't even told my family yet because I'm still processing everything without Nathan's income. I can't afford the lease on my own, so I'll have to find a roommate or find a new place altogether. I'm a mess right now. Honestly, I'm confused and distraught. Nathan did also admit that his friends helped him move out and clear the apartment while we were at his parents' place. It was a real shock to the system, so I guess his friends were part of this mess. I've been eating a lot more than usual. I'm stress eating like there's no tomorrow. I'm ignoring portion control completely. It's crazy because I'm now blowing through my savings faster than I thought possible. Anyway, that's where things stand for now. I'll keep you updated if anything big happens. Thanks to the nice folks out there. Thanks a lot to the haters and the ones screaming, "I told you so." Seriously, just stop, you're not helping anyone. And to those who are damning me and commenting unkindly, you have a place in hell waiting. Especially for you. Update. Hello Reddit, how are you all doing? I've been updating quite frequently because venting here feels therapeutic. Here's the rundown of what's happened in these 2 weeks. First, I got served with the divorce papers. No surprises there, and I'm fine with it. It seems there's not much to divide, so I'm going along with whatever Nathan's terms are. It's becoming clear to me that Nathan was manipulative and vindictive. Who in their right mind hides something like that for a week just to get revenge? Only someone pretty twisted, someone like a psychopath. I reached out to my siblings, especially my elder sister, who advised me not to confess to Nathan in the first place. I also talked to my mom, was pretty shocked, but she got it. She knows we all mess up sometimes. Money is getting tight though. I do have savings, but if I take on the lease and rent by myself without a job in sight, I'll burn through it fast. Plus, being on my own means no one's around to guilt trip me about my eating habits, which isn't helping my weight goals. My sister suggested I break the lease, and I've moved back in with our mom. I spoke to her and she's fine with it, so I told the landlord, gave notice, packed up my stuff, mainly clothes. Called an Uber and made the move to Mom's place. It's been about 3 days and it's honestly a relief. I messed up and they let me know, but they also understand. I'm going to court soon, so I won't be updating during that time. I'm not sure if it's legal or not, but I'd rather not take any chances. I'll fill you in once it's all wrapped up. Thanks for the supportive DMs, workout plans, and healthy food tips. They've been really helpful. Update. Reddit. It's been ages, almost 4 months since my last update. Sorry for the delay. Life got hectic and I kind of forgot about this space. A lot has happened, and I feel it's time to fill you in before I move on for good. This will likely be my final post here as I'm ready to close this chapter and focus on. I've decided to end my involvement here. The negativity has been overwhelming, with only a few positive comments. I don't want that toxicity in my life. The divorce was straightforward, as we both had jobs and he contributed significantly to our expenses. There was no shared property or major assets. It was a simple split, but it still hit me emotionally. I had a moment in the bathroom to cry and gather my strength. It kind of hurts that Nathan moved on so quickly, but what can I say? Life goes on. I guess it's hard to fathom how someone I've spent more than half my life with could seemingly forget about our history and move on. It's been pretty quick, like it never mattered. Despite the negative comments, I've accepted my mistakes and learned from them. Your negativity can't bring me down. I'm moving forward. Thanks for the support and well wishes. I appreciate it. I wish you all the best in life. I hope things turn around for me as well. I won't repeat. Just to let you all know, I've made the same mistakes again. I know I said the last time I'd be my final update, but I genuinely promise this is going to be it. It's been about a month since I last checked in. I did mention deleting the app, but I didn't follow through. Instead, I randomly decided to come back and see what's been happening in the comments. DMs. The response to this post has been incredible. People have been asking for updates, and I've even seen my story on TikTok and Instagram. Those narrated videos with Minecraft backgrounds have been a hit. So, Here's what's been going on in my life. First, I've lost a few pounds. It's not a drastic change, but I'm still overweight, but I'm happy I didn't gain weight and instead made progress. I took a break from the gym for a while, but I started again about a week ago, and I'm determined to stay consistent. It's tough, especially with stress eating creeping in, especially after everything with Nathan. I've also been considering therapy. I haven't booked an appointment yet, but I'm looking into it. I'm still looking for the right therapist, but I'm actively looking into it. It's been challenging. I've been applying for various positions, but most seem to offer minimum wage, which I'm not keen on accepting given my qualifications and experience. I've been exploring call center jobs for now, but I'm committed. I'm looking for a better paying job, and I'll be leaving these lower paying options behind once I find something better. This is my last update, as I won't be able to keep coming back to share every detail of my life. Thanks to everyone for the support and interest. It's been quite a journey, and I'm optimistic about what lies ahead. Thanks, and I hope you all have a good life.